I like down in a green pasture, him let I beside still water them. Him restore I soul, him let I another part of righteousness for him name's sake. Yay! Though I Rasta, I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Unu prepare a table before I, in the presence of our enemy them. Unu anointed I head with unu oil. Me cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy, I go follow I. All the days of our life, me I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Ja, kadema we gromabe. How ma we so bold, Lisa? I don't know what it was clear for. How what you mo ho you waladon. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunemo, where we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Again, here we are not neutral, and we have never claimed to be, because we are not. We have actually taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we are affectionately called the headquarters of the truth. And my name, Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot. And each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different types, shapes and sizes, aromas and even flavors. Put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot, where they are subjected to some really good amount of heating. At the end of the day, they produce sumptuous food and all its palatability for the nourishment of the family in its whole entirety. That is what we literally do here. We pick up ideas from all walks of life, all and sundry, the rank and file of our people, right from the crowns of their heads all the way down to the soles of their feet. And then we subject these ideas to some crucial forensic scrutiny, right after which we tease out the creme de la creme of all these ideas and use that for the development of our people, our continent, our land. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo. This is the Black Empire Media. This is the headquarters of the truth. It is the habitat of the truth, the jungle of the truth, the foundation of the truth, the hometown of the truth, the bedroom of the truth, the address of the truth, the habitat of the truth. It is the truth. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. We are live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube. Oh, yes. Yes. And then also you can find us on X, formerly called Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok. We keep ticking and talking with the gracious hands of patriotism. Oh my God. Our numbers are also scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. Maybe you have a story you want us to follow up on. We are more than just excited to go with you. I must apologize for the false start. It was due to some technical errors. We have issues with the internet, you know. But I want to believe that this time around we'll be able to deal with it. We have switched, and hopefully we should be able to walk through. Please like the show. Please subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell. Please, again, recommend us to family and friends. Share so everybody can be part of this. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. Come on. Hey, listen. Today we have 6 very important stories to share with you. And by the grace of the Almighty, in the service of this beautiful country, we should be able to go through that in no time. But this is where I would like to say thank you so much to our sponsors. Yes, Tesoro d'Oriente. Now turn every single shower into a royal experience with Tesoro d'Oriente. Now this has gone beyond just a shower gel. Hey, it is a piece of heaven. Pour a little bit of Tesoro d'Oriente in your palm. Shake the bath water. Watch how the ladder grows into a beautiful, rich foam. Allow it to nourish your skin. It is also an insect repellent. After one single bath, yes, 48 hours later, you smell like the Garden of Eden. You need it for your interviews. You need it to woo that beautiful girl in the corner. You need it to be able to teach that guy that you have some level. It's Tesoro d'Oriente. It's Italian technology coupled with African raw materials, giving you that premium quality, most affordable. Yes, it comes in several fragrances. We have the Ikigai, the Karma, we have the Royal Oud, we have the Forest Therapy, we also have the Persian Dream. My favorite, the Royal Oud. I also love the Forest Therapy. Allow it to nourish your skin. Hey, it is distributed in Ghana by Daddy Ash Limited. Now for bulk purchases and inquiries, call Daddy Ash Limited on 0244 772599. It is soft, it is smooth, it is silky, and it has that long-lasting fragrance that smells like the Garden of Eden. Tesoro d'Oriente. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you. At this point, I must also say we are also sponsored by the kind courtesy of Millennium Insurance. And Millennium Insurance is your trustworthy partner. Not every insurance is an assurance. Some of it may try to cover you like a plaster, but that always would be a disaster, ultimately. That is why I am introducing you to Tesoro d'Oriente. What kind of insurance do you need? Motor policy insurance? Go to Millennium Insurance. Get your comprehensive or third party. You want to insure your vehicle against fires, burglaries, and natural disasters, accidents, no problem. Hey, it's all about Millennium Insurance. Are you traveling outside the country? You need the Millennium. Oh my God. Travel insurance will take you in and bring you back safely, giving you a lot of joy and experience. Hey, nobody is preserved of calamity. That is why you must always be prepared. Yes, a Millennium Insurance is ready for you. When it comes to your claims, we are the quickest. Please, unlike others who pussyfoot, we give you your claims quickly so you can get back to the right footing. Our numbers are on the screen. Pick up the numbers and call us, your trustworthy partner, and let's make this happen. We have our offices in all parts of Ghana. Just give us a call or visit our sales portal at sales.millenniuminsurancegh.com, and everything is everything. I am proudly insured by Millennium Insurance, my trustworthy partner. How about you? It's the Blackport, AKYEA Kukushonamo, and here we speak truth to power. Thank you so much for joining us one more time. Hit on the subscription button right after that on the notification bell so that each time we are on, you'll be reminded to watch. Please like the broadcast and then also share so many people who were part of the first broadcast and we got cut out will join us again. Please. It's the Blackport. We have 6 stories. Let's start. Story number 1. Watch this. Ghanaians attack Paul ADOM-OTCHERE over childish MAHAMA comments. Ghanaians attack Paul ADOM-OTCHERE over childish MAHAMA comments. Paul ADOM-OTCHERE is a nice gentleman. I love him. He's a broadcaster. In fact, he used to be with Joy FM. He had a stint with some other media houses and then landed at Metro TV, where he has an evening show, quite respected, and the show is called Good Evening Ghana. He's always wanted to be a lawyer. He grew up in the barracks, and he keeps telling us this story. He loves to tell the story of Ghana time after time. And if you catch him on a very good day, you will really enjoy him, devoid of all the propaganda. This is Paul ADOM-OTCHERE. He's a nice guy. Oh yes, Paul ADOM-OTCHERE. Now, in the days of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he was actually made the CEO. In fact, the board chairman, the heartbeat of the Ghana airports. And Ghanaians remember him for the Christmas tree. Some people even make that his middle name. Paul Christmas Tree ADOM-OTCHERE. Ghanaians like to tease him because he teases other people. This is a man who can be a fine gentleman if he wants to be. And if he doesn't want to, he can be full of propaganda. He told us that he will never criticize Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo because he has unfettered access to the former president. He would always go to him, my brother, my sister, but he has no problem criticizing other people who were part of his wedding. They donated their cars and even paid his law school fees. And I'm talking about TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th. My brother, my sister, this is Paul ADOM-OTCHERE. Now, Paul is full of propaganda. I don't know if he gets paid for propaganda. But let me be fair. Since I say I don't get paid and I don't do propaganda, I should not assume that some other people get paid to do propaganda. Even if it exists, let me turn a deaf ear and a blind eye to that. This is a fine gentleman. He was picked up by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and it became quite controversial. This is Paul ADOM-OTCHERE. Now, Paul ADOM-OTCHERE is a member of the NPP. For some time now, he has become a communications person in the NPP and for the NPP. And I thought that that was good, because leaving the communications to people like Abronye and that other guy in Ashanti region, my brother, my sister, the party is doomed forever. Paul Yando, that's his name. My brother, we need communication, not buffoonery. But it looks like in our country, political communication for the parties has been reduced to nothing but buffoonery. How much you can insult, how much foolhardiness you can show, how much Dutch courage you can show, and not intellect. So politicians and political parties end up paying for people to be loud and not to be witty. My brother, my sister, this is Paul ADOM-OTCHERE, fine gentleman. Now, Paul ADOM-OTCHERE, about a week ago, criticized John Dramani Mahama, but he used Manasseh as the conduit pipe. He said, you see the floods in Ghana, it's all because of two people, Manasseh Awini Azure, who vilified Zoom Lion to the point that he made Zoom Lion unworthy to write on the Ghanaian contract. And then that little boy there called Malik Basintali, who presently is in America watching the World Cup when he should be in Ghana creating employment for the youth. These are his own words, not mine. These two people made MAHAMA cancel the contract for Zoom Lion. My brother, my sister, as if the president had no common sense. What is the Council of Elders sitting down there doing? Are they not supposed to be advising the president? And if the president would only listen to two little boys in the west of ADOM-OTCHERE, it looked like it was quite demeaning to put that president in that domain. But well, Ghanaians spoke and it went quiet. He said, Mr. President, you cancel the contract. Now see the flood that we have in the country. No, Mr. President, you shouldn't have done that. And at the end of the day, he said, because you listened to these two little boys. Well, that story came and went away. But it looks like Paul has not really achieved what he wanted to. So he has hit again. This time around, he's on the neck of the president again, using his advisors as the conduit pipe. My brother, my sister, better English Trojan horse. He wants to hit the president, but he's using his advisors as the Trojan horses. And you know what he has done? This time around he says, Mr. President, the so-called National Day of Prayer that you just had, your advisors did not advise you properly. It shouldn't have happened. This is the second edition of the prayer. People have died from the flood, and you still have the effrontery to advise the president to have this. That's what he said. This is it. National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, and the theme is resetting our values to build the Ghana we want. My brother, my sister, this is the second edition. He's had the first edition, second edition, and the prayer went beautifully. Most of the time, it's Muslim and Christian. Oh my God, have mercy. It is what it is. And Paul ADOM-OTCHERE didn't seem happy about what happened. And he spoke. Come along. Watch this.
You know, during the campaign in 2024, I used to come here and say something that people didn't listen or they didn't hear or they thought I was not serious. I used to say and complain that because of my love for President MAHAMA, I was worried that he's not getting the right advice. As a former president and a leading presidential candidate, I was worried that President MAHAMA is not getting the right advice. And when I said it, it was thought of as anti-propaganda, and Sami Jemfi and Co would laugh at me and all of that. Today we are seeing it. Viewers, look at what happened. People have died. 37 is the number. Even if we go by the Interior Minister's number of 12, 12 people have died from rainstorm, ostensibly caused by all kinds of things, including our own effort, other people's effort, the government's negligence. Even if you say it's negligence of MPP, you can say that it's still something. And people have died. Then the government of Ghana, the day after people died, because they had already scheduled a Thanksgiving service on the 1st of July, it did not occur to anyone to tell them that we really have to redirect this Thanksgiving service because it seems sensitive to the families of Ghanaians who have lost their loved ones. Nobody in the Jubilee House could look at the thing and call chief of staff. Let's have a quick meeting about tomorrow's event. Charlie, we shouldn't do it, or we should change it. We should change the attire to black. We should make it a commemorative requiem mass for the people who died. We should have people to come and talk about people who have died and encourage them. And we should tell Ghanaians that our Thanksgiving service has been changed. Even though the Bible says in all things we give thanks, so we can still have a Thanksgiving service, but the appearance of the Thanksgiving service should not be like a normal Thanksgiving service. So nobody in the Jubilee House was able to think this and say it and let it happen that way. Look at that.
Maybe Paul ADOM-OTCHERE should have been the advisor of the President of the Republic. Thank God he's not. So you see the level of reasoning. 1st of July, we used to have the Republic Day and all that. So many holidays that we have in Ghana. We have chosen 1st of July for prayer and for us to be able to put a bit of spirituality into the nation. We have Muslims and Christians coming together to pray. And my brother, my sister, Paul ADOM-OTCHERE says, because 12 people died, we should have all worn black on the day. And we should have had people to come and recite sorrowful poems and sing dirges. And that will show that we love the people more. And that we agree that there is a problem in the country. My brother, my sister, I don't know if he had the opportunity to be there and if he heard what happened there. How much prayer was dedicated to the souls of those who passed on. There was no single preacher who did not make reference to the flood. But Paul's problem is that people should have worn black. People should have gone there with handkerchiefs to wipe their tears. I hate it when I have to say this. Yet, the man that he reveres so much, that little dwarf who messed up our country for 8 solid years, shot and killed people in elections. They never ever investigated that. They gave people stupid haircuts. People old enough to be our grandfathers went into retirement, and it was like they had just gone into Armageddon. It was like they had just gone through a journey into the city of Hades. I hope you understand what that means. My brother, my sister, Kerberos was waiting to devour them. Some of you who understand Greek mythology, you would understand what I'm talking about. Mr. President messed us up. At Fana, we had little children who drowned because of the stupidity of the government that was in power. And I'm angry. You know why I am? These are children who are supposed to be the next generation. They cross a river twice a day to go to school. Nobody with common sense thought that they should give life jackets to these people. The nation could not even get a boat to carry these people, our future leaders, in and out. And on the day, a number of them drowned at Fana, here in Accra. What did the government do? 2 of them survived. My brother, my sister, they have been traumatized from that time till now. Did they bring a counselor to talk to them? A psychiatrist? It took us time to talk and tell this government, no. If these were children of some dirty MP sitting somewhere, a dirty TV minister sitting somewhere, they would have reacted. What did Paul say? He didn't see it. After all, Fana, people will not serve his political ego. Let's be honest, brethren. What is good for the gander, what affects the gander, is good also for the goose, right? And it affects the goose as well. My brother, my sister, up till now, it's now that this government is trying to investigate whatever happened. Wanton stealing in the government. What happened to us? Our nation retrogressed several thousands of miles because of the dwarf and his lying boy. Today, Paul plays with something that is a catastrophe. To be able to get Zoom Lion back into the contract. That is what I see. And it hurts. Listen to what he said. Go to the comment section and see how Ghanaians are attacking him on his own platform. Ghanaians are not manipulative that much anymore, brethren. It's a flood. It's a natural catastrophe. Yes, we have been silly. Our attitudes have been stupid. Yes, government could have also come in to do more, but this is where we find ourselves. And for you, doing politics is this. Until we wear black. I'm sure people like Paul will not care if we all wear black and go and sit down there and still laugh our hearts out. The black is enough mourning. You see the mentality? The president, after the flood, was in an helicopter, which Kwesi Pratt did not agree with, around the whole of Accra and beyond, to see the intensity of the flood. He addressed us. In fact, even before the flood, the president had been talking about it. We saw how houses were broken, houses built on waterways. We saw the action. It was the same stupid Ghanaians who were sympathizing with the people who were ready to hammer in the nail into our coffins by building on waterways. When we broke them, you know what happened? Pastors, malams, sympathized with these people, blamed and chastised the government, and even paid money to relocate these people in hotels. Instead of telling them, you have been silly by building in waterways. Today, there's a flood. A few weeks after, some of these houses were being broken down. And Paul says we should all wear black, because black for him means sorrow. It means doom. An educated wannabe lawyer. Black for him represents sorrow. I have grown beyond seeing black as sorrow. The Bible says something. Paul is a Bible-believing guy. It says, clean up your garments, but it is better to clean up your heart. Mourning is not in the clothes you wear. It is inside you. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Hey, Paul didn't end there. He's bent on doing his propaganda. Right now, he's on the case of Edu Boahene. How many of us know Edu Boahene? The alleged superhero thief that has been worshipped by the crazy NPP idiots. And today, I'm out for them. This guy is a dangerous thief, according to investigators that we paid with our tax money to serve us. He got the opportunity, as young as he is, rescued from the jaws of the cold and the snow in England, to come and serve his nation. He tricked that little dwarf into making him the boss of the National Signals Bureau, because we were told that he was one of those who allegedly stole votes and ballots for that useless party. My brother, my sister, he was the capo. He was the big boss. Nobody could touch him. Hey, this guy allegedly kidnapped people at will. He flaunted his whims and caprices any day, any time. This guy. Little boy who was rescued from the jaws, the cold jaws of the British snow. And he came here and he became the Almighty. Arrogant. We were told that he stole 49.1 million Ghana cedis. Investigators have gone into it. They have been able to do a great job. They are showing this to the courts. The courts are seeing this, but the propagandists are also doing their bidding. I don't have a problem if that is what you believe in. But when you know that this guy is on the wrong side, yet you are supporting them because they are your thief, that is where the problem is. And that is why it will be difficult for our nation to be politically wise. He went to court, and Paul came up again with another batch of propaganda. I thought we had tackled this propaganda, and people had come to know that, Charlie, the thing no they work. It no go fly. Stealing is stealing. Finished. Listen to what Paul said. And when we return, we'll look at that and close this. Watch this.
So she testified that there was no public institution known as the Bureau of National Communications as alleged by the Attorney General. Number two, she stated that the BNC was an internal department of the Office of National Security, National Security Coordinator, and not an autonomous agency like the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, and the Research Department. So she said that the BNC, it works in the Office of the National Security Coordinator. There's no private one. It's one and it's with the National Security Coordinator. It's just a subset of it. It's not an institution by itself. The Attorney General said all of that. Okay, let's move on. Then she further testified that what the Attorney General held out to be the state's BNC account with the Fidelity Bank was rather a special operations account of the National Security Coordinator called the Coordinator's Account, National Security Coordinator. That's the National Security Coordinator, also christened Director BNC. So, viewers, are you with me? It's getting interesting. The prosecution witness told the courts that, as it turns out, the Attorney General completely misunderstood what he noticed. Both the Attorney General and the investigative unit, I don't know whether it was the BNI or the NIB as it was, or it was the EOCO, whoever investigated, they had all gotten it wrong. But how did they get an investigation wrong when the person who is giving the right information is a prosecution witness? Didn't they speak to her so that she will educate them and say, oh, bosses, this is not how it is. So this one is like that. Didn't they go through that process so that they come and embarrass themselves in court? This was totally embarrassing. That your own prosecution witness under cross-examination is revealing things that contrary to what you told the general public. And that's what is happening in the court. Let's move on. She also said that contrary to the Attorney General's allegations that Dubois had the power to spend and authorize spending on the Fidelity Special Operations account, Edith testified that it was the National Security Coordinator who wielded the power to spend and authorize spending on that account. Again, Dominic Ayeni said that Kwabena Dubois moved accounts. They saw the director BNC and they thought he created the fictitious account and is siphoning government money into that account. That's what they believed, or that's what they were told. And then they said it. Now, the lady is telling the court that Dubois does not have control over that account. But mind you, she's the head of finance. She's speaking. Said Dubois doesn't have control over that account. That account is for the National Security Coordinator. All right, let's move on very quickly. The bedrock of the Attorney General's case is that Dubois moved monies from the Fidelity Bank accounts to the UMB Bank. But Edith Ruby Adumwa clarified that Dubois did not wield the power to move any monies at all. And thus the check totaling 49.1 million were signed and authorized by the National Security Coordinator for payment into BNC operations account at the UMB. Again, Edith is giving more clarification. Let's move on for lack of time. Edith Adumwa's testimony further contradicted the prosecution's case in terms of the purpose of the 49.1 million, citing that there was no point in the year 2020 when the said amount was the Ghana cedi equivalent of 7 million. You remember there was something like that where the Attorney General said that the 49 is the Ghana cedi equivalent of 7 million. Edith debunked that in the court. Edith Adumwa contradicted the prosecution further by asserting that the acquisition of the cyber defense system was a genuine transaction in which she herself, as head of finance, was involved. Edith Adumwa contradicted the prosecution further by asserting that the acquisition of the cyber defense system was a genuine transaction in which she herself, as head of finance, was involved. She confirmed that she personally processed invoices and payments for the cyber defense system. She maintained that the payment was made contingent on the delivery and acceptance of the cyber defense system. She testified that the cyber defense system was indeed purchased and delivered. That collapses the Attorney General's case. Because the Attorney General says money was given for the purchase of a cyber security. The cyber security didn't come. So recently before the court, distinguished counsel for Dubois, the learned attaché, has asked the court that, can you order for us to walk into the National Security Signals Bureau and check whether the equipment is there or that is not there? I'm really hoping that the judge will agree with that because it will help all of us. The Attorney General says it wasn't there. The Attorney General's witness says that the item was delivered. I signed for it. I paid for it because I'm head of finance. Counsel for Defense says, my lord, if it wouldn't worry anybody, can we all go to the National Signals Bureau, your agent, the judge's agent, the Attorney General, who already has control over the Signals Bureau, and we, the Defense Council, you can add neutral people, the leadership of the Ghana Bar Association, and the leadership of the new one, Dafiamako's own, what is it called? Association of Ghana Bar or something like that, Solicitor Ghana something, their thing, he and Javier Susu. You can bring all of them. Let's go to the National Signals Bureau and let us find out whether the equipment is there or not. It's an application before His Lordship. I sincerely believe that His Lordship will grant it. I hope so. Anyway, let's move on. Contrary to the Attorney General's allegations that some 49.1 million had been stolen or lost at the National Signals Bureau, Edith Ruby Adumwa testified that there was no report or audit query whatsoever that any such amount had been stolen or gone missing at the National Signals Bureau. She denied ever transferring monies to buy houses for Dubois. She denied Dubois ever using operational funds for personal use. That's very interesting. And on that day, I was in court, and that was the most powerful one. Atacha is such a fantastic lawyer. I mean, all of us had not thought about it. You see, so the lawyers were talking about it in the court as I sat with them. It's very interesting. The first point that Dominic Ayeni should have made to the court is to establish that as National Signals Bureau, they are looking for a 49.1 million which is lost. That's the first thing you should have established, because that's really the case. You are prosecuting on behalf of the National Signals Bureau. There has to be a complaint from the National Signals Bureau or an audit from the National Signals Bureau by the Auditor General, like what goes into Abna's committee, Abna Osasare, that's very intelligent MP, Public Accounts Committee. So that the Attorney General can begin on the premise that the Auditor General has reported a 49.1 million inconsistency or loss with the National Signals Bureau, alleging that a cybersecurity equipment that can be the basis of the Attorney General's case. The Attorney General didn't do that at all. He was more interested in press conferences and addressing the media and telling the media that people are thieves and prosecuting a public opinion trial for political gain. That's what he was interested in. Now all that gain has collapsed because time is the master of all of us. So all that political gain that Attorney General thought he gained, it has collapsed on his head today. The other day, somebody was whispering to me that they said that Dominic Ayeni had some issue and he wanted to resign and they begged him not to resign. I said, oh, well, he's brought it upon himself. Because this is what is happening. Everything he said in the press conference has now collapsed on his head. Every pep, the military people call it peps, I think they were. Every pep that he won because of the press conference has been torn off his shoulders today. Because he held a press conference and said that there was no equipment and that the money had been stolen. And yet, when he appeared before the court, he did not ground his case on the fact that the National Signals Bureau itself is in possession of that information that their money has been stolen. So in court, ATTA asked the lady that, are you the head of officers? She said, yes. He said, if there will be money lost, would you know? She said, yes, I will know. She said, so far, has the National Signals Bureau lost any money? She said, no, we haven't lost any money. Then ATTA turned to the judge and turned to the court.
Well, one thing is clear. Propaganda is the office, the right office of ADOM-OTCHERE and not the law court. Nature has a beautiful way of selecting who fits where and who is a misfit. I think Paul would have been a misfit, super misfit in the law court. Listen to the logic. And this will be swallowed by a lot of ignoramuses because of the level of illiteracy in our country. Unfortunately, some people would believe this thing that Paul is saying. Paul is saying that there's an equipment and is sitting in the office of the NSB. EOCO investigated this guy and asked him, where is the thing? He couldn't show it. Where did you say you bought it from? Oh, some Israeli company. They wrote to the Israeli company and asked the Israeli company to come out with whatever it had supplied. And Israeli company said, oh, he only gave us 10 million Ghana cedis. Kind of. In dollars. And we gave him a trial version. When they took the trial version, we were waiting for the rest of the money to be sent, and the idiot never sent it. So we tracked it and closed it. Is that the equipment? Is that it? And he's here saying that the court should allow them to go to the National Signals Bureau. My brother, my sister, there is nothing in there that can be seen by anybody. No court would waste its time to go there. I pray that the court does, to buy time for ATTA and his propagandous court case. My brother, my sister, let me draw your attention to something equally important. Paul is saying that the finance person said she didn't know that any money was stolen and that she signed whatever invoices and whatever invoices. An invoice is not a receipt. Is an invoice a receipt? If I am going to buy an elephant and I'm asked to bring or to get an invoice, is that the same as a receipt? Put that aside. Now, this woman here is the boss of the finance. She doesn't know that money is lost. She's not an auditor. When a smart thief like Edu-Boahene, as alleged, is dealing with this issue, he's doing it on the blind side of everybody. No thief ever goes to the finance person to say, hey, I'm going to steal 49.1 million. I want you to know before I steal it. How many of us have things stolen from us and we never know until later dates? Be honest. How many people amongst us have something stolen from us? Sometimes we never even know till we die. But if it is that heavy and important, we might get to find out after some time. Paul ADOM-OTCHERE says, because the woman said she didn't know at the time that any money was stolen, it meant that no money was stolen. Which lawyer thinks like this? Maybe only lawyer Obun. Even me, who doesn't know law, and I won't pretend that I know. This simple logic will never beat me. You go to a man's house and ask him, have you lost anything? If anything is lost in your house, would you know? And he says, oh yes, I will know. So is anything lost? No, nothing is lost. Then you go out and say nothing is lost. That logic is warped. This is what Paul is trying to confuse people with. Propaganda. My brother, they say he who pays the piper enjoys the tune, right? When we get to the bridge, we will cross it. You see, I foresee something. When Edu-Boahene finally is in jail, these are the people who go, oh, we did all we could, you know. But we pushed her, oh my dear. It was a bad case, very terrible. But we did our best, my dear. That's what they will finally go and tell the guy. After they have milked him dry, after the idiot has spent all his money on propaganda, after this guy ran to a great man like Archbishop Duncan Williams, trying to get mercy from him, and EOCO did not budge. The presidency did not budge. It is not Paul ADOM-OTCHERE's propaganda, little dusty propaganda, that will sway the courts. Nothing would save Edu-Boahene from jail. Not even the bald head of ATTA. My brother, my sister, but open your eyes, as Christ would say. Open your eyes. Pray without ceasing. Because the end times are here. They will all go to jail. Wontumi will go. Edu-Boahene will go. This is not the end of Edu-Boahene. After this case, there's another case. Look, I am privy to a lot of information, and the more this Edu-Boahene case delays, the angrier I get. After this, when he's in jail, he will be brought out again to stand another trial for more years to be added to his jail term. After he goes in the second time, he'll be called back. There's another third case against this same guy. If only Ghanaians knew what this little brat has allegedly done. It's only people who take money from him who will still do propaganda for him. Any which way. It is the Black Pot, AKYEA Kukushunemo. And here we speak truth to power. Story number 2. Watch this. Frustrated ATTA cries in court over EOCO'S CROMWELL. Samuel ATTA is his full name. Zoe and Co. That's where he plies his trade as a lawyer. We hear he's a fine lawyer, but I see a lot of propaganda around him and time wasting. And that's my opinion. I might be wrong. This is Samuel ATTA. He's an NPP guy. He's a politician. My brother, my sister. And he has availed himself to fight the Edu-Boahene case. Edu-Boahene is said to have stolen 49.1 million Ghana cedis. And in court, a young man by name Frank Marshall CROMWELL from EOCO. This is the guy. Young guy. He's a forensic expert. In fact, crucial forensic expert. Better still, deep forensic expert. This guy. My brother, my sister. And this guy here is working in our national security offices via the conduit pipe of EOCO. He was the one who led the investigation into the activities of Edubuahene. And he discovered whatever he discovered. He was in court. And he was showing the judge the chart. How Edubuahene moved the money from the real BNC account into the B.N.C account, tricked the banks and moved the money into that account. When the banks realized how he was blowing the money, they started to blow the alarm undertones. He was spending the money, nyafu, 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 nyafu. And this little guy was pushed in there to go and do the investigation, and it came out clean. Edubuahene did not steal money. The finance person did not know that any money was lost, so there was no money lost. What logic? He brought a chart before the judge and told the judge, my lord, with all respect, look at how the money got into the B.N.C account, the cloned BNC account. Edubuahene is smart. He made the account look like the original. And instead of having money paid into that account, it came into this account, and he siphoned money into the same account. When I met him, he told me, Blakk, look, it's the same account too. He wanted to make an idiot out of me. My brother, my sister, the account numbers were different. This guy was able to tell the judge this, and told the judge also, look at how Edubuahene spent all 49.1 million. If it's for the national security, why did he spend it on prostitutes? Why did he spend it building his own houses? Why did he spend that money on other issues that were so personal to him? Is that national security? Is that national security? In our country, we are so daft. Oh, national security, you don't have to audit us. Hey, go to England and see what is happening. Go to America and see what is happening. There are national security bosses that are dealing with them. Some of them are on trial right now as we speak. But in our country, no, it is a free range for stealing. Maybe Edubuahene was told that, and he tried to cover his tracks. This guy was able to pull out everything, showed to the judge. And ATTA was constantly saying, oh, my lord, why are you so interested in this? Why are you so interested in this? Blah. Because the judge was interested in how the money was being spent. How Edubuahene said the money was not stolen. It was for national security purposes. Yet he was spending it on sex. Bunga bunga. Spending it in building his own estates. Is that for national security? ATTA said he was going to grill this guy. He tried to instill fear in the young man. But Frank Marshall CROMWELL met ATTA and they spoke. He cross-examined him and he gave him the answers. And he was asking him things like, do you know what a black budget is? My God. He asked this guy in court, do you know what a black budget is? If you don't know it, then you are not an investigator. If you don't know what it is, then you are a nobody. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to discredit this guy and make him look like he's a Nino who knows nothing and that he's being used. But this guy did the investigation. He remembers every single date. He remembers whatever he saw while he was investigating. He's at his wit's end. His head is young. He remembers everything like a computer. And ATTA is in court, shocked. He thought he was going to be a walkover. You remember he told us that his sweetest day in court will be when this guy comes in? But ATTA comes out of court. The superhero that he is for the NPP. and the clique of thieves, or the den of thieves, supposedly from that party, he granted an interview. You know what he said in that interview? Do you want to know, or you are not interested? Watch this.
Yeah. Senior, during cross-examination, you sought to inquire from the investigator why they didn't go to national security, the national security coordinator, about these transactions. How important really would that inquisition would have been for your client?
Then you would have had internal understanding of what works in national security. Because you could see, he said he was trying to interpret a national security account, but he would not go and talk to the account owner for him to understand what the account was about. And what kind of investigation would that be? So I believe that this is showing that this case is a national security matter. The people purporting to understand national security issues, they don't work in that space. And you cannot grant a conviction on another man's ignorance. It's that you are asserting that you understand what is happening at the Ochehin's palace. But you won't go and talk to Ochehin or the chief linguist about the matters in the palace.
But how does it deduct from the allegations themselves?
Because it's bogus. It means that you can misinterpret what you saw if you don't reference it to those who know. And now we are talking about account identifier. So they have an account identifier, which is BNC, Director BNC, and then the account owner, the National Security Coordinator, and they didn't know the difference. It's sad. So come and continue.
How does the outcome of this investigation, of this interrogation, mean for your client?
Well, it was a fishing expedition. It was not evidence-based. It was rumor-based. The tip-off should have been referable to national security. Monies are missing in Jubilee House. Where do you go? Chief of Staff. Yeah, that's the nonsense of the case, no?
Thank you very much.
Council, you sought to petition for the life telecast of this cross-examination. How far was that?
Well, we leave it to the wisdom of the CJ. He has a final say in these matters.
Honorable Samuel ATTA, you can see the frustration on his face. Cromwell is giving him a serious run for his money. From here, he's going to blame those people who told him that the guy is a walkover. Oh, nimshe, wait. Ya name na ejuma. Wait, on nimshe. On nimshe no karibia. This is ATTA. Did you see the confusion on his face? A whole maze, M-A-Z-E, is dancing on his face. Hi! Now, it is very easy to read confusion on a bald-headed man's head. You see that he starts sweating on the bald head. My brother, my sister, this is Samuel ATTA. Did you hear what he said? He said it's a fishing expedition. A man cannot be convicted based on another man's ignorance. That's why he's asking him, hey, do you know a black budget? Do you know a black market? Do you know a black sport? Do you know a black eye? A black budget, a black market, whatever it is according to the English dictionary, is illegal. So if your client is interested in dealing in black markets and in black budgets, then it's now time to deal with such a dubious client. My brother, my sister, Cromwell is not scared of ATTA. He has been able to deliver. He remembers everything he saw in the investigation. He has given it to them, woto. ATTA, from where he stands, can see the jailhouse door opened wide. But when he looks at the budget, how much his client has probably paid him, he can't go back to the client and say, you know what? I told you at the beginning it was a very bad case, but we tried our best. At the end of the day, my brother, my sister, Ghana is going to win. Whether we like it or not, it is glaring. Everybody is interested in the end product. You can dribble and dribble and dribble and dribble. We will applaud you. But where it matters most is when the ball is at the back of the net. And the ball is already in the back of the net. CROMWELL and EOCO and the Attorney General and his deputy, they are talking. Say, my Lord, forget about all this beautiful dribbling. The ball is in the net. This is how Edu Boyin spent that money. He spent it on Bunga Bunga. He organized big parties for himself and his prostitutes. He bought houses for prostitutes. He was flying left, right, and center with prostitutes. This guy, he built houses, estates all over the place. A civil servant. How much was his salary? 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. How did he make that money? Are you crazy, Ghana? Your salary was 6,000. The following year, they increased it to 7,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Every year, 1,000 was added to your salary. Now you own estates all over the place. Can you explain? We don't even need you to explain. We have it. This is how much money you made. You paid money to buy this, to buy this, to buy this, and we have been able to pinpoint all those things. Lawyer is still in court. And the thing he said here that made me laugh my heart out. He said, if you are investigating somebody on a tip-off, and then you come across a certain account, you have to ask the account owner, if Edu Boyin has allegedly been able to clone and steal to the point that even the finance person couldn't understand, you don't need Edu Boyin to come and sit and tell you more lies. He met me and told me lies, and I believed him. A week later, I decided to go deeper. And when I went deeper, I realized he was a crook. I could have kept quiet and taken whatever he had to offer me and become a big boy, flaunt it on social media. Oh, Blakk Rasta is now rich. I have a G-Wagon. I have a 10-bedroom house at East Legon. Yeah, I'm a big boy. But no. Chickens are coming home to roost. And to Frank Marshall CROMWELL, thank you so much for this painstaking investigation. To Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine, yes, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, and your deputy, one Dr. Stremsai, and of course, the capo di tutti capi, the blue suit wearing capo of our national security, EOCO office, Raymond Archer, great work done. Whatever the result, I doff my hat for you guys every day. Is the Black Pots, AKYEA Kuku Show them up. And here we speak truth to power. Story number 3. Watch this. Dodo. Hi. I can't wait to do this story. Former finance minister finally reveals reason he built a mosque, not a factory. Former finance minister finally reveals reason he built a mosque, not factory. Who is this former finance minister? Muhammad Amin Adam, aka Amin Anta. We were both born and bred in Tamale. My house number, I extension 7. His house number, I extension 6. My brother, my sister, at Ababu. That's the Dagomba way of saying Abuabo. Abuabo. Say Ababu. We grew up together. We played football together. We went to school together. He was born in April and I was born in September, same year, 1974. So we are colleagues. He became finance minister of the Republic, and I was so happy for him. Courtesy Bawumia, who recommended him. He's a studious guy. From when we were growing up, he was so interested in school, just like me. His father was a big malam, teaching Quran in the area and the madrasas. He grew up as a pious Muslim, praying 5 times a day, fasting in the month of Ramadan, saying nafilas late at night, waiting for Laylatul Qadr. This is Amin Anta, a young man, yes, 52 years young, and he became finance minister. He probably was the first northern finance minister of the Republic. I'm not too sure. I was excited knowing how he grew up. He speaks a bit of Arabic. He knows the Quran and the Hadith. And at the same time, he also teaches in some of the madrasas time after time. He became finance minister, an MP for Karga. You say Karaga, correct pronunciation, Karga. Karga. My brother, my sister, this is Bawumia's boy. Bawumia likes him. My brother, my sister, and when he became finance minister, his duty was to clean up all the dust, all the debt accumulated by that fugitive who is now in America eating pizza and drinking, what's that thing? How is it called? Cappuccino. And probably smoking pizza, smoking cigar. Kenoforiata. This is Muhammad Amin Anta. Muhammad Amin Anta decided to build a mosque. Hey! And he invited the chief imam all the way from Nigeria, flew into Ghana, invited the chief imam. They flew him in all the way to Tamale, Wambaya. And Bawumia was also there. It was a 6,000 capacity mosque. And the outside could take 4,000. My brother, it cost between 3.5 million and 5.5 million American dollars. This is the mosque. My brother, my sister, yesterday we talked about it. And today, I decided to ask Muhammad Amin Anta for an interview. Why did you build a mosque instead of building a factory? This was the question I posed to him. And he moved back 2 steps and moved towards me 2 steps, smiled. The smile on his face vanished all of a sudden. And then he started to spit into the microphone. Muhammad Amin Anta, why did you build such an exorbitant mosque rather than a factory or a university for your people? Watch this.
Well, you know, my background, I've always been in Islamic education, you know, preaching the word and also teaching long before I even got into politics. And you don't abandon your faith just because you have become a politician. And we also are seeking salvation. And to that extent, we do charity work, you know, just so that God will continue to have favor on us. And so anybody who will want to provide such a facility certainly wants to improve his relationship with God, you know. Secondly, the project consists of a mosque for prayers and also an Islamic school for teaching children from the ages of 4 to 15 to study the Quran, memorize the Quran, and also learn Islamic ethics and values. This is because our society is degenerating into something else. You know, values are lost. The youth are taken to vices that are contrary to Islamic teachings. And so you need to catch them young so that you can imbibe in them, you can teach them the values that are acceptable in our society, that are acceptable in our religion. And so that is the second arm of the project. The third arm of the project is a research center, which is named after my late father, who committed his life to teaching the Quran. So the research center is to promote Islamic research. And so if you go there today, you will see that the research center has a library which is well stocked with Islamic literature. Most of the time, you have scholars, Islamic scholars, Arabic scholars, but they do not have the platform to undertake research and to publish their works. So the research center to promote that, to provide that platform for them. So they are a 3-in-1 project. Now you ask, why not a factory? Well, everybody has a decision he has to make on how to improve or build his relationship with his Lord. And this is what I chose to do. But even before then, there are many similar projects that you are asking about, which I have led to execute. I have raised funds to build, for example, a 2-story classroom block in Damasco. Students are using it. I have raised funds to build a 2-story classroom block in Nobisco, my former school. I have raised funds to build a 2-story classroom block in Markazia in Tamale. I have raised funds to build a dormitory block for Ambaria in Tamale. You know, and this is additional to the work I do in my constituency. And so for me, this is just an addition, but the process of supporting community development through projects, particularly educational projects, did not start from now.
What does your faith say about building a mosque? Is it true that when you build a mosque, you automatically go to heaven?
Well, what I have learned from Islam is that there are about 50 different, actions that a Muslim can take. And then you will continue to receive reward from God till the day of judgment. And building a mosque is just one of them. Building a school where people can go and learn and seek knowledge is one of them. Helping to pay the medical bills of sick people is one of them. So there are too many of them. Even if you plant a tree, the tree grows and people can sit under it and benefit from the shade of the tree. It's one of them. And so this is what I have learned about supporting communities and supporting people and the reward that comes with it. But more importantly, I am interested in the impact that we will make in our community through the teaching of values, the teaching of ethics, so that the children we are raising can also grow to be very responsible in our society.
Interesting. Educate me. Is it automatic visa to heaven when you build a mosque or build a school?
As for who goes to heaven, it is Allah who decides. He is the ultimate decider of whether your deeds, this earth, are sufficient for him to grant you heaven. So we can only wish ourselves well, you know, and it is a teaching in Islam that you don't wish that people go to hellfire. And so to that extent, yes, everybody who does something good, which is considered a good deed, will be aspiring to be granted heaven, Jannah. But as to who gets automatic entry, it's Allah's decision. It's Allah's judgment to make.
Finally, what's the source of the funds you use in building the mosque?
A project of this scale will certainly benefit from donations. And to that extent, a lot of people donated towards this cause. Not only for the mosques, but the schools that I provided in various schools that I mentioned and in various communities. It come from donations. And even on the day we were commissioning, we're still receiving donations. Some people were donating to support the operationalization of the project.
Honorable, thank you so much. If there's anything you want to add, please go ahead. And
it is always my pleasure to talk to you. And thank you for the opportunity.
It is always my pleasure to talk to you. Yes, my pleasure to talk to you. And thank you for the opportunity. Now, according to Honorable ATTA, MP for Karga, former finance minister of the Republic of Ghana, this is the person we're talking about. He has built a number of schools in the northern region. He has even, in fact, refurbished some schools, like Nobisco, Northern School of Business. The school he attended while in Tamale, he's giving them a story building. And all that he raised funds on his own to do that. He said the mosque has a certain unit that he has named after his father, the research center, who dedicated his life doing Allah's work. He said he has done a lot, but as to building a factory, he thinks that this is where his strength and his emotions would go into. And it's not so much about the heaven that he wants to go to, but it's all about impacting society. When we finished this interview, 10 minutes later, ATTA called me again. And then he said, Blakk Rasta, are you aware President MAHAMA built 10 churches for the Assemblies of God Church? Why didn't you ask the president why he built 10? I built 1. And you're asking me this. And I said, before I could give an answer, he decided to show me where he got his fact from, as published by News GH. MAHAMA has delivered 10 fully furnished church buildings to Assemblies of God. And this was in 2025, August 8th, published. And this is attributed to a gentleman called Fuseni Donko, written by one Misna. My brother, my sister, I've tackled this story before, but I wanted to see if it was a new thing. The president has fulfilled the campaign promise made in November 2024 by constructing and handing over 10 fully furnished church buildings to the Assemblies of God in Northern Ghana, according to Fuseni Donko, who spoke during an interaction with TV3 presenters on the New Day program monitored by News GH. The commitment was made during a campaign stop in Navrongo, where the president pledged to build churches for the denomination. Remarkably, the project was completed in just 6 months. 10 church buildings. What kind of buildings were they? Did Fuseni really say this? I decided to place a call straight to Fuseni Donko, who is now at National Service. Yes, authority. My brother, my sister, he was in a meeting, but I pushed and told him this is important. Just give me 2 minutes. And out of respect, he budged. What did he tell me? Watch this.
2024 was our year that we launched the Legacy Temple project. This was a duty call by the General Superintendent of Assemblies of God, Reverend Stephen Jenison Wingham, to all church members to respond to the call of God that any church member or institutions or departments within the church who are capable, and God has been good to us, should be able to build at least a temple. It doesn't need to be a cathedral size or anything, just a temple in any deprived village or community that doesn't have a place of worship. To be able to build something for them to have a place of worship. So it was because due to that call that when His Excellency the President was then candidate, MAHAMA was invited to the General Council meeting in Navrongo in 2024. He, together with the wife, made a pledge that they were going to build 10 legacy churches for the very deprived areas within the 5 northern regions in Assemblies of God. We have 24 regions within the administrative regions of the Assemblies of God, Ghana. That particular pledge was made in 2024, and he cast sort for the building in that same year, 2024, and actually committed to starting the building. He actually completed the building before even his inauguration in 2025 January. So it was coincidental that the announcement, the full completion was done, and then the shortcutting was going to, the commission was going to be done at the next pastors and wives conference in, how do we call it, Gumbuafete at the Pentecost Conventions. It was that program that he was coming to unveil the full completion of the churches. And it wasn't just the building of the churches, he actually added equipping all the churches, finishing it, and even building, how do we call it, courtesies for the pastors, that is the mission house for the pastors, and finishing those mission houses as well. So it was going to be unveiled at that particular program before the unfortunate incident of the minister's helicopter crash happened. That is why he couldn't come. So he actually completed the project before coming to power.
Oh, do you know how much it costs to build all 10 temples?
I mean, not because this was privately done, so it's not something that you say he gave out on contract. No, that is, you can't use government quantities to actually cost it, because it is a personal thing he's doing. It is done individually, and the places are also not the same. You are talking about Bolga, you are talking about Zebila, you are talking about Northeast, and some parts of the northern region. So they are not the same that you can actually quantify. So this is how much it should cost. But if you look at it, you can. It's not a big cathedral, no. It's just like about 100 capacity church that he actually built for each of the 10 places.
$100 capacity church buildings. Every small church he built, they call them the tent churches, was about 100 capacity for deprived areas in the north and beyond. He built 10 of them. In all, it can house 1,000 people. President MAHAMA, wife, sponsored 10 legacy temples for Assemblies of God. That's it. President MAHAMA, wife, sponsored construction of temples for Assemblies of God. All the newspapers carried it. Around that time, we spoke about this. So Aminata asked the question, why did nobody ask the former president at the time where his funds were coming from and why he was building 10? Well, the answer is here. There were small churches, maximum 100 people, and 10 of them built in deprived places because the president had made a promise to the Assemblies of God boss, Reverend Wingham. And that's the church the president attends. This is Reverend Winger. And he fulfilled it within 6 months of the promise. But the day he was supposed to go and commission that, there was a plane crash that took the lives of our gallant countrymen. And we don't want to remember that. My brother, my sister, the former president of the Republic at the time fulfilled his promise. Now the former finance minister has revealed to us finally why he built a magnificent mosque that has the capacity to take 6,000 people in, 4,000 people outside, and exactly his reason is the Blakk pot, AKYEA Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. Hey-ya! Hey-yo! Kai! Wayo!
Sometimes you just need a moment for yourself, a moment to slow down, feel the water, and let the day fade. Tesori is more than just a shower. It's a moment of pure calm, smooth, creamy, and relaxing. With forest therapy, Persian dream, royal oud, thalassotherapy, ikigai, fior di loto, and karma, all in convenient 500 milliliter bottles. There's a Tesori scent to fit every mood, every moment, every kind of you. Feel the lather on your skin. Breathe in the aroma. Let stress melt away and just enjoy the calm. You don't just feel clean. You feel refreshed, confident, and yourself. Tesori d'Oriente. Luxury is a feeling. For bulk purchases, contact Daddy Ash Limited on 0244 772599.
Tesori d'Oriente.
Blakk pot, Coco Show, Blakk pot, Coco Show, Blakk pot, Coco Show, Blakk pot, Coco Show,
Pot, aka Kukushunamo. And here we speak truth to power. Please, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell right after that, so that each time we are on, you will be reminded to watch. Thank you so much for making us number one. Story number 4. Watch this. Why MAHAMA has refused South African President CYRIL Ramaphosa entry into Ghana. Hey, it is all over the media that the president of South Africa has been refused entry into Ghana. This is the president. His name is CYRIL Ramaphosa, the president of the Republic of Ghana. And the Ghanaian people are not excited. They have decided that they will not allow the president to come into this country on a state visit. My brother, my sister, and Ghanaians are excited about that. It's all over in the media. Ghana Web published it. Tree News published it. My Joy Online published it. All the news portals in Ghana published it. And that's it from Ghana Web. Ghana rejects Ramaphosa's state visit request amid xenophobic attacks. Run the dossier. Watch this. Now, a request by South African President CYRIL Ramaphosa to undertake a state visit to Ghana has reportedly been declined by the Ghanaian government. According to a report by graphic.com.gh on Tuesday, July 7, 2026, the reported rejection of Ramaphosa's request follows growing concerns over recent xenophobic attacks targeting foreign African nationals in South Africa, including some Ghanaians living there. My brother, my sister, several media houses are still reporting from South Africa. People are still being attacked in South Africa. People are making themselves local heroes in South Africa. All they need to do is to kill a few foreigners, and they become heroes all of a sudden. On top of the radar is this guy here called Fakel Umtakati Nkosikona Bandaba. My brother, my sister. Then there is also a female by name Jacinta. There are groups, the so-called Operation the Dula, and much have terrorized Africans so badly that a lot of Africans are fleeing, as reported here by this news portal. Watch this.
They will kill us. They will kill us, serious.
This man has given undocumented foreigners until the 30th of June to leave the country. His name is Fakel Umtakati. Carrying a traditional fighting stick, he uses Zulu symbolism to evoke national pride.
These are South African citizens who are protesting against what they call illegal immigrants or undocumented foreigners. They say these foreigners are causing unemployment, contributing to criminality by selling drugs. They are also straining public services such as healthcare and schools.
Fakel Umtakati's organization is one of many pushing the anti-immigration message. For many Africans living in South Africa, the threat from anti-immigrant groups is real. Several have been killed, many others attacked or intimidated. Fanny has lived in South Africa for 6 years. Terrified of the growing threat, she sold all her belongings to pay for the bus fare for her and her daughter to get here.
My neighbors, they're telling us, you must go, don't stay here. If you stay here until 30, you will see. Don't regret it.
Rajab came to South Africa 15 years ago. All 3 of his children were born here, and he works in this country legally.
They said, hey, my nose is smelling blood. I want to kill you exactly. This is my life. Life is only one. So I leave South Africa. I'm going back to Malawi because I'm fit.
For many other Africans, especially those from Somalia, Ethiopia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, going home is not an option. Mabrat is from Ethiopia. He and his older brother have run this shop for 11 years.
The government said go, people said go.
What do you think? Do you think he should go or he should stay?
No, I think he should stay. We need him. To be honest, it's better if he's not here. It's going to be trouble. Nobody's going to be asking whether or not do you have papers. They're just going to come in and loot and do whatever, and he might get hurt. So it's better if he does leave before the 30th and maybe possibly come back after a week.
And can you not protect him then?
We can't protect him because there's going to be people who want to loot and they're going to be here with guns. What am I supposed to do? Stand in front of a gun? I'm not going to do that. Nobody's going to do that.
Anti-immigrant protesters say their campaign will intensify after the deadline. It's unclear what that means, but there is fear of violence. This is more than a story about immigration. It's a story about African solidarity and whether that ideal can survive.
Did you hear the catchphrase? This is not a story about xenophobia, about a country. It is a story of African solidarity. African solidarity. I'm proud of Ghana. Dash this. Thank you so much for news for this. This was a report a few days before the deadline, 30th. You heard the young man say, they approached me and told me that they were smelling blood and that they will return after the 30th and smell the real blood. It means they will kill us. I will leave and go back to Malawi. It's better to be alive and be poor than to be dead and be rich. My brother, my sister, a Ghanaian was killed. One is Hack, 40 years old. And right now it has become a diplomatic row between South Africa and Ghana. The South African authorities are so dumb and lazy. The president is a dumb, no common sense. This guy called CYRIL Ramaphosa. You sit down and watch your country hijacked by a few riffraffs. At the Marikana mines confusion, we saw how police shot and killed people for fighting for their rights. Good pay, even that they were shot and killed. These are people who are on the streets beating up foreigners, they claim, who are working genuinely to feed their economy. And you sit down there and all you can do is to make silly utterances. Oh, the demonstration was peaceful. I'm really surprised it went peaceful. So you're expecting to see bombs. You are expecting to see a volcano. What a useless president. I loved this president so much. He speaks well. He looks like a gentleman. I didn't know he was such an idiot. He sat down and watched these riff-raffs drag his country into the mud and destroy it forever. Ghana is just the beginning. Try to go to Nigeria. Try Zimbabwe. Try Malawi. Try Uganda. And see if they will allow you. In fact, this is the beginning of all the nations in Africa rejecting South Africa. You don't need a prophet to see this. Once Ghana has started, you haven't explained to us how our citizen was killed in your country in cold blood. Shot. Dead. You don't even know the name of this person, even though he had documents to live in your country. You gave a wrong name, so we would not be able to trace the person. You said it was one Boateng when it was Ishaq. My brother, my sister, a tailor. My brother, my sister, Ghana will never disappoint when it comes to diplomacy. I placed a call to Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. My brother, my sister, that's the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And he told me, Black Rasta, I wouldn't be able to talk. I am so saddened. What we are seeing in South Africa is the lowest point we can get to as a people. Black, can you imagine that after getting South Africa and Ghana to sign a no visa pact, a few days later, they are chasing our people out of the country and even gone ahead to kill a Ghanaian? Can you imagine what kind of insult this is? We signed a pact. You agreed that we can be in your country without visas. Now we are in your country. First you said undocumented foreigners. Now you say you don't even care. Now you are back to tell us it doesn't even matter if you were born in South Africa. If your father is Malawian and your mother is Zimbabwean, you are either Zimbabwean or Malawian, never South African. What does South Africa think it is? El Dorado? Such stupid ignoramuses marching the streets of South Africa. They don't even know their history. The white man has maltreated you all this while. And all you can do as cowardly weaklings is to vent your spleen on fellow black people. Look what happened at the Marikana mines. Look what happened in 1976. When little schoolboys were shot on the streets of Soweto. Look what happened to Steve Biko. Look at the journey to independence and freedom. Did you fight it alone? They say we shouldn't remind them of that. Because the fact that we fed them before doesn't mean we should come and take their food. For them, coming to work hard and feed their economy is taking their food. They are taking our women. They are buying our cars. I don't even have a car. I've worked here for 20 years. I don't even have a car. The foreigners have cars. They are taking our cars. Such foolishness. And CYRIL RAMAPHOSA, the idiot, now thinks he can come to Ghana and do what? Now this is a warning to Fakel Umtakati, Unkosikona Ndaba Bandaba. You know, he also said he was coming to Ghana. Find me that tape. He said he was coming to Africa to help with the spirit of Ubuntu. Do you remember? Yes. That crazy xenophobe had the audacity of an ignoramus to tell us, thinking that he has achieved everything by the foolish march he's having on the street, that he will now visit our countries in Africa and he will help us to reinvigorate the spirit of Ubuntu. To those who don't know Ubuntu, you are because I am. It's togetherness. He thinks he has brought South Africa together. The fool thinks that he has been able to unite South Africa. And he's coming to help us with the spirit of Ubuntu. He didn't end there. You know what he said? He said, I will come and help you. Even if your police and soldier want to shoot, they should shoot and kill all of us. Such a coward. And it's made the rounds. This video has made the rounds all over. That this little rat of a Zulu says that he would now come. He sees himself as a hero, a freedom fighter. He will come to our countries. He will come and make sure that he will reignite the spirit of Ubuntu. Well, we have chased your president away. As for you, little rat, only God knows what will happen to you. The same way you told the so-called foreigners that after the 30th, you cannot guarantee what will happen to them. The same way we cannot guarantee your safety in any African country. A lot of South Africans believe that South Africa is everything. They live and die in South Africa. They are okay with whatever it is. They do not know how South Africa became South Africa, and they don't care. It's okay. But thanks to Ghana, thanks to the great people of Ghana, thanks to the wonderful people of Ghana, we love you. We appreciate you. You have done something that has made me so excited. Something that has made my spirit so light and beautiful. To be able to look CYRIL RAMAPHOSA in the eye and tell him, get out, is enough for me. Let it be trumpeted in South Africa that there is a great nation called Ghana, the gateway to Africa, the land of Kwame Nkrumah, the land that became the very first country south of the Sahara to be independent and opened the eyes of the rest of Africa to freedom, togetherness, and independence. That land has rejected South Africa and CYRIL Ramaphosa. Blakk made it clear that no, he will not be able to speak. He was on a flight from the United States on his way back to Ghana after the Black Stars have been booted out. He said, when I arrive Black Rasta, we may be able to talk about some of these things. In the interim, my brother, my sister, are you ready with the tape? Are you ready with the tape? I thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you. It's been the Black Pot, aka Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. Story number 5. Watch this. Captain Smart cries over TRICA, U.S. expatriation. Captain Smart cries over TRICA, U.S. expatriation. Captain Smart is a broadcaster. He's well loved by so many Ghanaians. He plies his trade on Onua TV. In fact, media generals, Onua TV. My brother, my sister, he's a devout supporter of Kwame Nkrumah. And he speaks his mind. This is Captain Smart. TRICA is wanted by the American people to come to America and be trialed for stealing from old, vulnerable American people using the wires. How did he do it? He used AI that these old people are not used to trick them out of their hard-earned life savings. The American people studied him and his movements for some time and decided to go after him. TRICA all along said he was innocent. He didn't know anything about any such money, nothing at all. He struggled to get bail. And when he got bail, the first place he went to, after they poured powder on him and then danced around him, and after meeting his family, was to run to Captain Smart. Captain Smart has been a supporter of TRICA, also saying that TRICA had done nothing wrong and that the FBI was on a wild goose chase. Even went ahead to blame EOCO and Raymond Archer for what is happening to TRICA. Yet EOCO has no hand whatsoever in the TRICA issue. My brother, my sister, he has said time and again how EOCO and Raymond Archer came together to get FBI to be on the case of TRICA. TRICA has always said that he's innocent. He's done nothing wrong. If I were him, I would sit on the next plane and go to America. I will go with my ancestors. I will prove to your courts that I am a clean person. I am innocent. The whole world would get to see that this person is speaking nothing but the truth. The truth is only one. You can't run around the truth. But TRICA seemed to expose himself when he ran to Captain Smart, and then he allowed himself to be interviewed on Captain Smart's show. On that show, he made a very key pronouncement that got all his supporters and non-supporters alike to start thinking. What did he tell Captain Smart? Watch this.
$200,000. Sikana kasa ye no ka ho asem na yesay.
Sikana ye no ka ho asem na kasa no. Endu $100,000, endu $90,000 kra. Ewo 70 to 80 ho no den.
Na ni na wo ho.
Ni nya ni mo, ni nya no kwa wo omo ho. Ni yakwa omu informative like FBI free.
Okay, it's a whole shot send a video.
JBT we want and do like I think $5,000 and $10,000 can do.
David, oh, yautre. And I'll call them Kakrete. I say, yeah,
serious.
It's a scare. Yeah, woman will come once. No, scare war. No, young fan say $5,000.
Because the whole amount is $13,000. And I think, yeah, $13,000. And Obia like maybe I'm a buana no or gym like I think $10,000. Nah, gym was 8,000 then. Nah, or the 5 year that $13,000. I say 5% out from it. Yeah,
it's $13,000. Over 5%.
5%. Yeah.
Oh. That's how you can need any. It's a crat. I know much trouble court no. A womb. What percentage you need be a womb?
Oh yeah, evidence on the buy a woman that amount in woman.
Say 5%.
5%. There's
of $13,000.
Yeah, there's not like $8 million bill. O maka say state wo say o mama me $13,000. And $13,000 no account ni no say obeje wo mama account ni no I think 8% and o mama 5% e wo. E wo that $13,000 ni mo no. Yeah.
And your mouth bill is saying
bill ni 3 million, yeah, 3 million Ghana cedi.
30 billion.
Yeah, 30 billion.
$5,000.
Yeah. It's sad.
To 30 million. Peter said, I feel like someone man never can. 3 million.
Well, the mathematics not very straight. He said the whole amount was 13,000 American dollars. And his share was only 5% of the 13,000. He was innocent. But if there was any dirty money, it was the 13,000 and his share was 5%. How did he get into the business? From what he told Captain Smart, oh, somebody wanted to pass some money through my account. And I decided to help this person. 13,000 was passed into the account. And then my share was 5%. My brother, my sister, they don't know how the FBI works. And sometimes when I hear things like this, I feel sorry. Now, when the FBI is following you for some time, the FBI is looking for hard evidence. The FBI can play along with you. The FBI can get people, informers around you who you know and trust in a way to bring a certain shady deal to you. And this is all to get information, whether you know this kind of business or not. And through that, they are able to get into your skin. My brother, my sister, sometimes these informers will come over and over, not just once. That is how intelligence works. TRICA agreed that yes, he gave out a certain account number. And when the account number went out, some $13,000 plus got into the account. And his share was 5%. Why? Because he gave his account for the money to pass through. Why your account? Why the person didn't have any account? My brother, my sister. But the FBI works in a very shrewd way. The FBI won't come and tell you, you have stolen 100 million. They will go with a little one. And when you arrive there in America, they will bring all the charges on your head. The FBI will never tell you everything about you. It's when you arrive in their net that they will tell you, that was just a little one. You did this on this day. You did this on that day. Hey, you were in connection with this person. You did that. You did that. You did that. And everything would come out to 100 million. You little boy, what did you do with all the money? That is where you are shown raw evidence. And it looks like Abu TRICA knows where he's heading to. He's a fool. Abu TRICA is a fool. You know why I'm angry with him? He made his money. And the best place to show his money was social media. Flaunting it, driving all the big cars. What has he done for the people of CYRIL? Has he been able to employ 3 people? Has he ever donated to any hospital? Has he paid the school fees of 1 or 2 boys in his area? All of them are complaining, including his Sakawa friends. People knew that he was in this business long before he was arrested. And one of them is Showboy, who mentioned it some time ago. And even when he was arrested, that he was so wicked. But he was doing this, yet he will never give you anything substantial. If I've misquoted him, forgive me. He said he gave him something small when he was in trouble and needed help. But he knew the kind of business he was doing. Showboy doesn't hide it, that he's been in that business before. He's been somebody who has gone to jail and come back. He wants to be a better person. Now, even back at Vomawo, some time ago, published it on his social media pages about how Abu TRICA actually got some of the Sakawa money. There's a philosophy called the poison tree. And I keep telling people who want to hear it. The poison tree. Hey, whether you take one small leaf from the tree or a whole fruit from the tree, as long as the tree is poisoned, you will die. That is what is happening to Abu TRICA. Hey, if there's a poisoned goat that has been slaughtered for Christmas, does it matter whether you have eaten the intestines or you have eaten the liver or you have eaten the whole head? The smallest bit that you eat is poison. If Abu TRICA has even gone for $1 from the poisoned money, the TRT. Again, if Abu TRICA is innocent, may he walk. And if he's not, may he suffer to the maximum level of his guilt. It's the Black Pot, AKYEA Kokushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. When we return, we have a final story. Hey-ya! Hey-yo! Wayo!
Blackpot. Coco show, man.
As it stands right now, my brother, my sister, Captain Smart is here to talk. Maybe to do damage control. Or maybe to say that, you know what? Don't blame me for Abu TRICA's woes. He's trying to give confidence and hope to Abu TRICA after that interview. What is Captain Smart saying? Watch this.
Interview Abu TRICA waha.
Ghana.
Na wo ma dwen wo fam. Nipa wo ma dwen e wo fam. That's a Captain Smart interview about TRICA. And I say, you're extradite na here definitely Ghana. So when you nyansa nka be so wajimi. Omade about TRICA some $4 million. 8 kura. From $8 million say we bu obi afaso $8 million. From 8 million to 6. 6 to 4. 4 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 500,000, 500,000 to 50,000, $50,000 to $15,000. From $15,000 to 5% of $15,000.
Wait, bibini, ow, bibini and nipa.
And I'm saying, ya said that chasama to akwadana so.
Wait, bibini, ow, bibini and nipa.
Ya said that chasam. And they are to akwadana so by force. Woman, you have to take America. America for Messenger and Manaba. Omesa compensate no Montreal and the date into. Because FBI for Nankasa say woman need any information incriminating Abutrika. No documents nina. They don't have any document incriminating Abutrika. Never mind the EOCO'S wa Ghana ha trouble won. And we jina so. Meanwhile, obi to Ghana have fi abrochire na abaso ye broni sabe ofa nkwadan ketenkete to. Ono de ye che na yes ye mfa nkoni kurom.
Bibini,
Mojare. Nanya hano di bone no.
Sick people.
And you check Ghana, hey, how I wish I were the president. But one day.
Well, he says that the FBI has nothing against Abutrika and that he has documents from the FBI saying that Abutrika is innocent and they have nothing against Abutrika. Why don't you make it available to the courts? Why don't you make it available to the media so that we all see, we all can read? I see it as an empty propaganda, with all respect to my brethren, Captain Smart. Oh, Captain. Ebe, if you have such a document, the lawyers, the judges in Ghana can read. They are not ignorant. They are not illiterate. If the FBI says we have nothing against Abutrika, Abutrika is clean, why is the FBI so interested in pulling Abutrika? And you can say as much as you want. They say, anyway, I mean, hear me. When he arrives in America, the American people would now open up and tell you more. Abutrika would not be compensated. Abutrika will not be brought back to Ghana. The FBI will not spend money to take somebody on extradition from Ghana all the way to America, feed him on the taxpayers' money and compensate him and tell him we've made a mistake. Do you know the implication? Do you know what it means to the American? Look, when Bush said Saddam had some missiles and they went in there and there was nothing. Up till this date, Americans are still talking about it, vilifying the Bushes and all those people. The American is unforgiving when it comes to things like this that you call mistakes. If the FBI documents are with you that say, oh, you know what? Abutrika is clean. Why are you keeping it? Show it to us. You have a show. Show it. We must not be seen to be shielding criminals or alleged criminals. We must not be seen to be doing the bidding of alleged criminals in our society. I understand when a man says, oh, pedophiles come into our country, and when we catch them, we rather extradite them rather than dealing with them. That I can support. And say, you know what? We have to deal with them via our laws here because this is where they committed the crime against Ghanaians and in Ghana. Even if they come and do it and run to America, we have to look for them and bring them back and deal with them. That's how it is. My brother, my sister, we saw a Russian come here, misbehave with our girls and go away. It was consensual. The only problem was that he published some of the videos. Indecency. And much more. In my days, there was a doctor called Dr. Odrod. Right there at the Tema Gapoa Hospital, who was sucking the blood of pregnant women and killing them. When it was time to arrest him and deal with him, his fellow doctors aided him to leave the country before authorities could grab him because Oye Bruni. Up till now, I've not forgiven Gapoa people. That guy, recently I went to Gapoa and I asked of him, trying to meet his friends. Nobody wants to say that he was friends with them. But they aided his exit from the country. The country that he went to, we didn't have that extradition, whatever, agreement with them, so he stayed there. It's very sad. We have to tighten our laws. We have to be sovereign. Truly sovereign. Respect our sovereignty. To Abu TRICA, from where may I sit, I wish it wasn't so, but Utiate is the black pot, aka Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. At this point, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you. Hey, my God have mercy. I love you. I appreciate you. I want to say thank you so much to our sponsors. Hey, yes, turn every single shower into a royal experience with Tesori Doriente. Smell like heaven. Even 48 hours after that one single bath. Again, I want to say thank you so much to Millennium Insurance, your trustworthy partner. Final story. Story number 6. Watch this. TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th. Meet the only man alive who returned Ex-Gratia to government. In Ghana, when politicians finish work, normally it's the politicians, there is something we call Ex-Gratia. After being paid whilst they are working, when they finish work, in quotes, or better still, when they finish stealing, and they go home, we still chase them with more booty so they can add to their stolen money. That is what is called Ex-Gratia. President MAHAMA has fought so much against it. He said when he comes into power, he will cancel Ex-Gratia. My brother, my sister, but before President MAHAMA even gets to cancel Ex-Gratia, there was a man who stood against it, fought against it, and when they forced it on him, he returned it to the government coffers and it became news all over Ghana. My brother, my sister, he is the Agbogbo Mafia of Asogli State. He is my Lord TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th, the Agbogbo Mafia of Asogli State. Very truthful, very decent. My brother, my sister, he is a Yale graduate. As it stands right now, he's taking a lot of people from Asogli State all the way to Yale University in the United States to study on scholarship. He has carried a lot of chiefs in Ghana to give them experience outside Ghana. This is TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th. To those who have never heard this name, let history never forget that this is the only man alive who rejected Ex-Gratia, whilst other people carried the money into their pockets. My brother, my sister, they call it Article 17, Agenda 7, 61, 71, 96, 1 million, whatever numerology is attached to this demonic article. This man has exorcised that demon from that dirty article. I have a lot of respect for this man. His name is TOGBE AFEDE. The 14th, the Agbobo Mafia of Asogli State. Hey, to those who don't know him, come here. Run the dossier and get to know who exactly he is. TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th, was born James Akpo on April the 23rd, 1957, just after the independence of Ghana. He is a prominent traditional ruler, renowned investment banker, and major corporate leader in Ghana. He serves as the Agbobo Mafia of the Asogli State in the Volta region, and is the former president of Ghana's National House of Chiefs. Kai Jakpatabeda Fio Monyekuo. He came from a very poor family. He almost dropped out of school at the age of 12 for non-payment of fees. But he reminded himself when his grandfather spoke to him, Agbeno heavy, Megba Fumato. Agbeno heavy, Megba Fumato. Little by little, that bird without feathers will grow feathers, and it shall taste the bare skies in flight. Enthroned in October 2003, he is the paramount traditional ruler of the Asogli traditional area. He formerly served as the president of the National House of Chiefs, the highest constitutional body uniting traditional rulers in Ghana. Do we remember Data Bank? He was one of the founding fathers of Data Bank. He, Ken Oforiatta, and Ken Oforiatta's own brother, and a fourth person who was brought in later, founded Data Bank. But he left Data Bank on principle because of the dishonesty of Ken Oforiatta. He left at a time that the thing was about to flourish. My brother, my sister, Ken Oforiatta used to live in his house, a rented apartment, and even drive one of his used cars. He is the co-founder of the domestic and regional airline, the Africa World Airlines, which started in 2010 and serves as its chairman as well. He has notably served as a co-pilot. Hey! On his Embraer 145 fleet. Hey! He's also the brain behind the Sunon Asogli Power Ghana Limited, a major independent power producer in Ghana, co-founded in collaboration with China's Shenzhen Energy Group. He serves as the executive chairman, and he is an elected member of the Global World Trade Centers Association Board of Directors. Hallelujah. He serves as a member of the Presidential Advisory Group on the Economy, PAGE. Under President John Dramani Mahama, he also previously served on the board of directors for the Central Bank of Ghana. TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th, holds an MBA from Yale School of Management and is one of Ghana's most influential entrepreneurs, recognized as Ghana's greatest entrepreneur of all time. Don't joke with this man. His corporate footprint spans aviation, energy, finance, and sports. Hey, now he has what is known as the SAS, Strategic African Securities Group, founded by TOGBE AFEDE in 1994. I was only 20 years young. This group includes brokerage, corporate advisory, and investment management arms. The Agbobo Mafia of Asogli State. He serves as the executive chairman and majority shareholder of Ghana's premier football club, Accra House of Oak, founded on the 11th day of November in 1911. TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th, remains heavily involved in both local development and international trade. He is currently leading a mini hydropower and water supply initiative in Hawaii to boost clean energy production and tourism in the Volta region. And he frequently leads Ghana's public and private sector delegations to international platforms such as the WTCA Global Business Forum. TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th, the Agbobo Mafia of Asogli State. He actively chairs national leadership events, including the National Labour Conference, focused on stabilizing labor relations for national growth. Dash it away. And come here. Come here. My brother, my sister. This is TOGBE AFEDE. Yes, he was the president of the National House of Chiefs in so many different positions. TOGBE AFEDE has been able to operate. He made Asogli State very, very popular. The Agbobo Mafia. Can I tell you more? Now, somewhere in 2008, entering into 2009, John Evans Atta Mills, the then president of the Republic of Ghana, this gentleman called him and said, I wish you could be my vice president, my running mate, the way I love you, and people are talking about it all over. But that tells you that you are a great man. But TOGBE will never leave his traditional position and run in politics. No, he loves Asogli more than any political position. Atta Mills knew there was no way. Atta Mills also loved MAHAMA. So he pulled MAHAMA closer to him. He saw what MAHAMA would be. And today is the fruit of this great man. Atta Mills made TOGBE AFEDE a great man in his government, in charge of finances, economics, advisory, and even more. TOGBE AFEDE became so powerful, close to the jugular vein of John Evans Atta Mills. It was at that point he told TOGBE, what do you think about Ex-Gratia? He said it's demonic, it's useless. He said, then deal with it. There was a committee. They sat in that committee and he cancelled Ex-Gratia. But there was a man called Moses Asaga. This man here, I love him as well. He allegedly went behind TOGBE and pushed the demonic Ex-Gratia. At the time, TOGBE was sitting on Kufuor's Ex-Gratia, a former president, and some other such people. He outlawed it and said, don't give it to Kufuor, don't give it to anybody. It's demonic. They have already been paid whilst they were in power. If it's other allowances, fine, but nothing like Ex-Gratia. That was his position. But Moses Asaga, who had been nominated Minister for Housing And something went behind him and pushed it, as we were told. And Atta Mills withdrew his nomination. And it's all over. It was in the news. It was published. Watch this. President J.E.A. Mills withdrew Moses Asaga's nomination as Minister of Water Resources, Works and Housing in February 2009 due to the public backlash over Asaga's unilateral authorization of a controversial $20 million ex-gratia package for outgoing officials, coupled with political fallout from allegations of domestic abuse and a compromising photograph. Do we remember Moses Asaga? Although presidential spokesperson MAHAMA announced the withdrawal without citing specific reasons, reports from the time highlighted three main factors. Number one, ex-gratia. Asaga was heavily criticized for independently after the Asogli State and the Mafia cancelled it. Make it lawful. Authorizing the payment of the end of service benefits to former President John Agyekum Kufuor's administration without consulting the new government's transition team. And TOGBE AFEDE was part of that team. He headed it. Now, the release of the details regarding the large compensation packages sparked widespread protest from citizens who felt the awards were insensitive to the economic hardships facing Ghanaians. Political and social circles also pointed to other controversies surrounding the nominee, including past allegations of wife beating his wife, and concerns over a compromising photograph which the new administration feared would damage his credibility. This is Moses Asaga. So, in 2009, at the time Mills was president, the Asogli State, Agbogbo Mafia, had made it clear that he hated ex-gratia. Then after the House of Chiefs, whatever meetings they were having, he saw it as a private job. And when he finished, private and aside, he went home to rest, and they gave him over 300,000 Ghana cedis at the time from Nana Akufo-Addo as ex-gratia. He rejected it. At the time, he spoke to Dom Levo, GRA, and asked him how he could return the money to the government. And Dom Levo showed him the routes. And he returned all the money to the government and said, no, this is a part-time job you gave me. Anytime we sat down, you gave us some money and some drink and even food sometimes. And we met 3 times in a month sometimes. So there's no way I will take this money. They read political meanings into it. But at the time, what did TOGBE AFEDE say? Run the dossier. TOGBE AFEDE made headlines when he rejected and refunded an end of service benefit, aka ex-gratia, payment of 365,392 cedis, 67 pesos. This is an equivalent of how much dollars? Calculate that. Now the money was paid to him for serving as member of Ghana's Council of State between 2017 and 2020. Now the ex-gratia payment was deposited into TOGBE AFEDE's account in July 2021. After seeking proper administrative channels to return the money to public coffers, he successfully transferred the entire sum to the Controller and Accountant General's Department account at the Bank of Ghana on March 4, 2022. The move became public knowledge later that year, sparking intense national debates. How did it become public knowledge? We'll tell you in a bit. TOGBE AFEDE released an official statement clarifying that his choice was born out of personal principles and economic concern. For him, it was inappropriate for part-time work to be paid ex-gratia. He stated that serving on the Council of State was effectively part-time work. He felt it was inappropriate to receive a massive lump sum when he had already received regular monthly salaries, transport provisions, and other standard privileges. Abhorrence of outrageous benefits. He expressed a general distaste for outrageous benefits paid to public officials. He argued that those who voluntarily choose to serve the nation must be considerate of its financial state. Economic hardship. He said Ghana was already struggling. Why should he take such a huge sum of money from a struggling nation? Such a man with common sense of patriotism for his country. Now, look at what happened. While the wider public and political minority groups strongly commended his rare display of integrity, the decision faced sharp pushback from pro-government commentators and journalists. Critics, most notably journalist Paul ADOM-OTCHERE, attacked the chief, alleging that he only attended about 16% of the Council of State meetings during his 4-year tenure and therefore did not earn the praise. And this was a man who had given him a car for his wedding, paid his law school fees that he couldn't complete. TOGBE AFEDE fiercely debunked these claims. He stated that he was one of the most active, hands-on participants of the council. He clarified that the attendance figures used against him were weaponized lies and misrepresentations designed to diminish his principled stance. When asked later if he would repeat the same action, TOGBE AFEDE insisted he would reject the money over and over again and urged a complete overhaul of how Article 71, or is it Article 1 million, public office benefits are determined in Ghana. Details of his ongoing addresses on corruption can be tracked via Ghana news outlets like Graphic Online and City Newsroom that in fact reported this clearly. This is TOGBE AFEDE, the 14th, aka James Akpo, the Agbogbo Mafia of Asogli State. Let history remind us that this is the only man alive who successfully rejected a huge sum of money on principle, legally given to him. He said, I can't take this money from a struggling nation. How many Ghanaians can do this? We celebrate you today. In the coming days, we'll be looking at how he's suing a chief from Asogli State and why it is so. And we have crunchy interviews that we'll be looking at. In the interim, TOGBE, Akpekaka, Akpesia, Akpekaka, and true to the words of our Ewe ancestors, this little boy who almost dropped out of school has become the cornerstone. Indeed, Agbeno heavy, Bagba Fumato is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. I want to say thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you. It's been a long day. We apologize one more time for the break in broadcast. It was due to technical issues. In fact, the internet was not very stable. I want to believe it's been okay. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. And if you have a story you want us to follow up on, we are most excited to do that. Until such time, let's see your comments. Yes. Let's see your comments. Send them via YouTube. You could also come via Facebook. Sedu Isaka says greetings from Tokyo. Young Adam says greetings from Germany. May you live long, best Rasta man. Kamshina Zaid says Black Rasta, move of fire. Patawo says welcome back. Thank you, Pat. And says hello Rasta. Hi, how are you doing, Pat? Abdulaziz Isahaku says greetings from Karga. Abdulaziz. Godfred Kwashiga Eja says I'm doing the listening in Dubai, UAE. Ghana is in a good direction and we must rally behind Ghana. All right. Thank you. More comments coming in. We have Mark Romeo Foru who says my regards, Professor Blakk. Vincent Kingsford Baidu says I'm glad you are back with Black Pot. Super. I am enjoying the Black Pot here in Germany. Black Rasta Bakupe. Asafwache Niayi Kakalo says, greetings, Black Rasta. Now that Ghanaians have learned through the hard way that laws are made to prevent calamities like the floods and fire, let's see whether government will stamp its authority and communities will get together to fight against lawlessness in any form. Thank you, Asafwache. We appreciate you. More comments coming in. Unique Man says, good evening, Black Rasta. I trust all is well from the energy tonight. I've got a story to share with you. I don't know the way forward. Kindly show me. Well, our numbers are scrolling on the screen as you see. 0244 499 461. Send us a voice note or call us via WhatsApp, you know, and then just tell us what it is. We will follow up. All right? If it's worth following. And it's for free. Okay? So David says, good evening, Black Rasta. Macromeo Fori says, Paul Jonky. Who is that? Is that the name of a footballer? Ibrahim Abdul Karim Jabbar says, Paul Adom is an idiot. I'm not too sure. I think he knows what he's doing. He's doing propaganda. Okay? And then we have Carl Dwayne Larios says, for you to understand Paul simply means you are close to visiting a psychologist. Wild Omoto says, good evening, Black Rasta. More fire, bro. Efo Yesu top is laughing. Ni manche lagaden says, strong, powerful, and direct words. Ish Ukreku says, these people are not intelligent at all. My 6-year-old granddaughter will ask more questions about this claim. I like that. Pandi Pamang says, is Paul in Ghana? I don't know. Is Paul in Ghana? Is Paul in Ghana? I honestly don't know. More comments coming in. My brother, my sister. And I have Ibrahim Abdul Karim Jabbar. Paul Adom is clueless and will continue to disgrace himself. And Carl Dwayne Larios says, Paul is a madman. Ibrahim Abdul Karim Jabbar says, laughable when Paul Adom speaks. And then somebody, Ish, says, oh, but I think Paul is making sense here. Which one? There were 2 tapes we played, so come so we can look at it. If thieves lie, makes sense, probably you are one of them. If thieves lie, makes sense, probably you are one of them. Only psychiatric patients will make sense out of his claim. Well, I don't really get you. Please come back and let's understand you better, okay? Mark Romeo Fori says, Don Bruku. Akana Yozura says, I do like Paul. I did like Paul before. But when I realized that he's doing nothing but propaganda and politics, well, it is what it is. I want to say thank you. We appreciate you and we love you. It's been the Black Pot. Same time tomorrow, 6 p.m. We will be here to do the needful. Until then, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Share the broadcast, like the broadcast. I invite you to please subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell so that each time we are on, you will be reminded to watch. My name is Black Rasta. Hey, yo! Hey, yo! Why, yo!